we have something to talk about today that I got very interested over the last few months. I've been seeing this thing online, and if you saw the thumbnail, you already know what it is. It's the Plenbo G case, but it's not just the G case. I have the entire package here. I forget what they call it, but it's everything they got, and we're gonna go over all of it because it is very, very interesting. And you guys know my favorite, my go-to is this tiny little Neo grip right here. This is what I really use most of the time. We're gonna go over every little bit of it. Need a hat. All right, much better. All right, so we're gonna open this thing up. We're gonna go over everything it comes with, and like I said, it's a lot. We're gonna do all that right now. Okay, first things first, we're gonna go over the case, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is a massive, massive case. I'm just gonna show you what this case looks like compared just to a Neo grip. If you know what a Neo grip looks like, if you know what you're dealing with or something like that, this is a huge case. Okay, this is better, hang on. Here is a Joy-Con. That's the size this case. I mean, it is, like I said, it's really, really big. It's a huge case. So we're just gonna start with the smallest stuff first, and then we'll kind of work our way up to the actual case itself. This little thing right here, as you can see, it's got a little number 3 on it. Everything in here, it's numbered for some reason. I don't really understand why it's all numbered, but it is. I guess we can go by numbers. So this thing is actually gonna allow you to use a lot of different controllers with this Switch. It does work with PC as well, but if you're gonna plug this into the Switch, I mean, obviously you don't have to connect your Pro controller to this, but you can. It does connect the Pro controller, so if you're using it for like PC, something like that, you can hook that up to the PC, you can hook a Pro controller up to the PC with this thing. But this is gonna let you use anything that's compatible with a PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 3. It's gonna let you use any of those controllers that you want, which is a bonus if you like, you know, your PlayStation controller. Maybe you've got a PS5 and you like using the DualSense, like the way it feels. You can use it on the Switch with this thing. So that's cool. This is a nice little extra thing. This is probably something I'm gonna keep in my regular bag from now on. I do like having that option just to be able to plug this into something. Even if you just don't have, you know, maybe your Pro controller with you and you need to use a controller, this will give you an option. So the next thing that this kit comes with is something you can actually plug this into if you want. As I said, it's got this. This is number, bright there, little bright. There you go, now you can see it. So this is number 2. This is the one dock. So this is basically gonna be a portable dock. We've seen these. You guys saw in my backpack video last year, which another one coming soon. I had one of these. This is the new one that I'll probably have going forward. They're pretty much the same thing. I just like the way this one looks a little bit better. As you can see, it's got USB-C. That's gonna power the Switch. It's gonna send the signal from the Switch to the dock. It's got an HDMI out. You plug that right into the TV, and then you just plug this thing into the wall. You've got a dock, and it's also got a USB port here, so you can plug this guy in and use your PlayStation controller if you want to. If not, you don't need that. If you need to charge something else, you can use that. So that's a cool thing. You can actually charge this if you want to, which is the actual battery that comes with the case. Now I'm gonna show you this thing. We'll get into this thing a little bit more, but we'll do that when we're talking about the case itself. One thing you can do though, if you need to charge something else, let's say your phone, not the Switch, if you need to charge something else, you can use this USB-C port as a charger. You just hit this button here, lights turn on. They're off right now, but you get the picture. It's a battery. And it gives the Switch a good bit of charge. I will say that. My Switch was dying. It told me that the battery was low. I turned this thing on and I played for another hour, 2 hours, and it still wasn't dead. I don't think it charged the Switch the entire way back up while I was playing, but I did play for another hour and had absolutely no problem. I didn't have to worry about it dying. It wasn't even close to dying. I think I had a half battery whenever I was done playing after that hour. This was done for at that point, but it does give you a lot of extra time. We'll get into that. There's other stuff that we need to talk about. Now, let me bust the case out here. This is the case, and as you can see, it like the case it comes in, this grip is not small, but it's got a lot of stuff going on here. There's a ton of stuff. Let me turn it around and show you here. So the first thing you need to know about this is it is compatible with not only the Switch OLED, but the regular Switch. It comes with these two things here, which replace the two that are on the sides here. And you're probably wondering why does it have these things that come off? Is it just so you can fit both Switches? Yes and no. You can put these together and then you can actually put your Joy-Cons inside of here and use them as a controller. Now, obviously it does come with two of those. So if you want to set up two of them at the same time, hook them up to the Switch as two controllers, you can, but there isn't a place for this second pair to go in this giant case, which I don't really find a huge problem. I think there are some things in this case that could be changed. We're gonna get into that in the end, but these will not fit. If you're using the ones for the OLED, these ones are not gonna fit. Now, as you can see on the back of these right now, they look a little bit different than what's on here, and that's because these ones actually have the grips on them that you can interchange. It's got 3 different sizes, so it's a lot like the Skull & Co. I mean, honestly, a lot like the Skull & Co. If you look, I mean, even the grip texture on the smallest ones is very similar. These are a lot bigger. Even the smallest ones are much bigger than the Skull & Co. as you can see here. So I know a lot of people are gonna ask about that since this does have interchangeable grips. I will say one thing about the grips though. While they are different, they're a lot different in texture, the size is not really that much different. I've got to be honest. The smaller two are basically the same size, they just have different texture. The biggest one has this little bump out as you can see here, which I've actually been using the bigger one. I use the smaller one on the Neo grip because I do want it to be small. This one, I mean, who cares? But there's a lot more to go over with this case. So that is where the battery comes in. We pop that bad boy right there. You can turn it on. You're gonna get a bunch of extra charge for your Switch. Like I said, while playing, I got an extra hour, then I was done. It probably would have went a lot further than that. I'm not exactly sure how far it goes. It does go a long way, and they say this is fine to use with your Switch. They're telling me it's been tested. I don't know for sure. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a problem. I've used it a few times, but this case has a lot of other little interesting things. The smallest of those things, but still a very good addition, is this kickstand. It works really well, and not only that, this thing plugs into a USB-C down here in the bottom. So they actually reroute the USB-C out on the back, so you don't have to worry about putting this thing on a stand. You can just set it on a table and it plugs in from the back, so you don't have to worry about the cable, putting it on anything. It's basically good to go. You can plug it in to your dock, like I said, use a controller, take these out, use the Joy-Cons. But another thing this has, which I thought is a very interesting touch, and it was probably added before they decided to throw it onto the Switch and not tell us it was already in there. But these two buttons right here are actually to activate the Bluetooth. You can actually hook up Bluetooth headphones to this thing, and you can hook up 2 headsets at the same time. What you're gonna do is hold both of these down. See if I can get it to do it here. Anyway, they'll start blinking. You press the one you wanna connect. That's basically it. It's very simple. Oh, I did it. It's blinking. Can you see that? So that's in pair mode right there. I don't have anything to hook up to it right now, but that's a very interesting thing to add, because one thing that is kind of an issue with the Switch is its Bluetooth pairing and how many things you can have set up to one device. So if you're doing both headphones out of this, you can still hook up 2 controllers on the Switch and have no problem. You start doing that all on the Switch, you're gonna run into weird issues. It doesn't quite work right. So that is cool to have. It's an extra addition. This thing stays in the case obviously very well. This snaps into place. You don't have to worry about this thing coming out. Now I know what a lot of you are thinking right now. That thing is huge. There's no way I can carry that thing around. I have to be honest, that's exactly what I thought when I first saw this thing. And with the battery, I will say with the battery in, it's got a lot of weight to it. There's no question about it. Even without the battery in, it's gonna be a good bit heavier than a regular Switch. But I don't think this is like your arms falling asleep, hurting, tired because you're carrying something heavy. It is a little bit heavy. I mean, look at all this stuff you're putting on you. You're adding a battery. You've got this giant case, which does actually do a lot. You know, you would think looking at it that it doesn't do a ton, but it really, I mean, this thing is a transformer. It does so many different things. Like I said, the kickstand, the Bluetooth, the things that come off to use as a Joy-Con grip. The battery itself, it is heavy. I feel like it's kind of like holding a Game Gear. That's what it reminds me of. Whether that's good for you or not, that is what it reminds me of a ton. It feels like holding an old Game Gear. So I mean, it's big. There's no question. I do like it though. I really, really do like this thing. And for the right person with all this stuff, I think this is a pretty good package. There's a few things I would change, and it's not huge stuff, honestly. There's two main things I think I would change. One is kind of an aesthetics thing, and it's not a huge deal, but I really, really do not like the way that it looks in the grip when you take the Joy-Cons out. Let me show you what that looks like. I am not a fan of this. I feel like as good as the presentation is with this entire thing, when you look at that, it just kind of takes away from the entire thing. This giant gap here where you can see like the pads. I just feel like that could have been done a different way. How? I don't know. That's not my job. I don't know how, but I don't like the way it looks. I think as premium as this thing really is and the way it looks, that really does take away from it. Not a huge deal. I'm never gonna use it in that mode, to be honest, unless I'm in a pinch and need to do that. It's just not something I would do. The other thing that I think is a little bit of it's just a little bit of overkill is this. Inside the case, which I haven't showed you yet, I'm gonna show you that right now. You can, there's a lot of room in here. There's a lot of stuff. You can hold a ton of games. How many? You can hold 24 games on this side of this thing right here. That's a lot. It does also come with the USB-C to USB-C cable. You need to use the dock, which is nice. It's a nice little addition they added there. Obviously, you can see your Switch with the case goes in right here. But I really feel like, while it is nice to have a space for this, I like that. Have a space for the dock. I don't see the point in having a space for both of the other sets of grips on the back, especially when the two that are in here are basically the same shape. The texture on the outside is different, but if you know anything about having these grips, it is nice to have the option, but most of the time, once you find the one you like, or maybe this one that you like, and then the one that's completely different that you like for a whole nother reason, those are basically the two you stick with. One of them is gonna be on there, so I can see maybe having a place for one of them, but I feel like they could have used the storage on the other side for something else. Again, I'm not sure what, but that is the one thing about this case. As big as it is, it does fit everything that comes with this thing except these, the extra set of these. As big as this case is and as nice as it is to have everything in there, I feel like being the size that it is, it would be a lot nicer if there was a little bit of extra storage though. You can't actually bring anything extra with you, unless you're talking about maybe some, like I said, some games, some cables, some small things, but you're not gonna be able to get a whole lot in there. Other than that, I think for the right person, for somebody who's interested in having a package like this that you can just take and you literally have everything you need, this is really good. Now I have the white version here. They are putting out a black version, which I do wish I had. I do like the black version better. I think the white version is, while it looks very cool, I think it's a little bit much, but this thing's pretty comfortable. For as big as it is, a little heavy. For me, I'm gonna stick with the Neo Grip. The Neo Grip is where I like to go. I like things a little bit smaller. This is nice. Honestly, I will be using this. I won't be taking this out anywhere. This is probably gonna be like I use this at home thing. Maybe if I'm on a trip and I need some extra battery life, maybe, but it's just a little big for me. I'm gonna stick with the Neo Grip, but this thing is very cool. Very, very cool. Everything that comes with it is very nice. The entire thing, very premium. So thank you again to Plenbo for sending this over and let me try it out. I'm gonna have a link where you can check this thing out down below, and I'm also gonna have a link where you can check out the Neo Grip. That's more what I go with. You know what? There's room out here for both of these. Let me know down in the comments which one you like better. Are you more into something big like this? Total package type of stuff, or are you slim and trim like the Neo Grip? Let me know down in the comments. But guys, that is gonna do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a like. Make sure you are subscribed. Some people think they are and they're not. We'll see you in the next one.